I think another one of the things that is really remarkable about the company is the culture in the field. And I know, every company in direct selling talks about it. They understand the importance of it. But a lot of times it just kind of happens organically. And there were so many brand partners, and still to this day, that have been with you from the beginning. But also with all of the growth, there's been a corresponding increase in brand new or relatively new brand partner leaders. Yet there seems to be such a close community and camaraderie that is not often seen in direct selling companies within the sales force. What do you attribute this to, where the field does work so closely together, and how have you helped to foster that?
Yeah, I would say what's really important is that the brand partners buy into the vision and the mission of the company. And that has to be something other than we're doing this to make money. There's anything that people can do to make money. You can be a lawyer, a doctor, electrician, plumber, whatever. There's many, many ways to earn a living. So if that's what the proposition is, I don't think you're going to build any type of culture or any type of loyalty. But if you're building a community where there's a common vision and mission, then you have something else entirely. So this really started in different phases within LifeWave. So when we started in 2004, it was really about, let's help people have a better quality of life. And each day and each week in the company, we would get these phenomenal testimonials, and we made sure that we wanted to share these with our community. So very much over time, while the mission changed, it was always heavily product focused and focused on this idea that LifeWave offers hope, and we can be a part of making the world a better place to live in. And as a natural extension to that, we donate money to organizations like the Red Cross, Convoy of Hope, that are out there to provide relief efforts for people that need it. So I think it would be fair to say that we have an amazing community of brand partners that are totally in line with this mission. And when you hear them talk about our business, that's always at the forefront, is that these products are providing real solutions to people all over the planet.
Absolutely. The ability to create that alignment obviously starts with defining what those values are, what the mission, what the purpose is. And I know that's something that you've done and did early on and have really stuck to it, where again, so many times in companies it can happen organically, but you were really clear on that vision from the beginning. And I know all of the field leaders and the brand partners have really been able to just kind of, rally around those ideals. And, it's not just, a product feature or benefit focus, but something, that ladders up as high as hope. I mean, that's beautiful. That's, so high up the benefits ladder that it's something that we all want and need. And then everything else in the organization just kind of ladders up to that and builds and supports that. And I've seen that worked really effectively here. In addition to having the right product, creating this culture, having great leaders, along the way, and then come into the company, what are some of the other things that have really helped the company to grow and also keep up with that growth? Because that kind of growth, while it's a wonderful thing, can bury a lot of companies, but yet never been out of stock. Product's always been there. So what are a few of those additional things that have helped you grow and scale and support that growth?
Yeah, so there's a few things that you do on a practical level to stay ahead of the growth. And then there's other things where you look to the future and you say, what can I do that's really innovative, that's really different? What are some of the things that maybe the landscape of the competition is not thinking about that we could do? How can we, for example, pull people into our channel that are outside the channel? What are some novel ways of doing that? So maybe we can take that one step at a time. The first thing on the day-to-day things, you obviously have to look at your infrastructure and your supply chain, and how can you make yourself as bulletproof as possible with changing geopolitical circumstances. So one of the things that we've done is invested heavily into engineering, and to be looking at our manufacturing process and thinking ahead and saying, how can we incorporate robotics into our manufacturing? How can we incorporate these computerized visual detection systems into what we're doing? So in one example, just a few years ago, when we needed to order a new piece of equipment to expand manufacturing, that was an opportunity to say, okay, let's make this thing fully automated with state-of-the-art robotics and some other features. And we ended up with a system that was 3 times faster than the machine that it was replacing. But not only that, the original equipment required 18 people to operate it, and the new equipment only requires 2 people. So we can currently manufacture enough product in-house to support a business doing about $2 billion a year. So we're way ahead of the curve. And this year, we'll be ordering another piece of equipment and expanding out to a 70,000 square foot manufacturing facility. And that will take us up to about the $3 billion mark or so. So being able to look at growth curves and stay ahead with your manufacturing is absolutely critical. And so we don't have stockouts. We always have 3-4 months of inventory. So that's something that our brand partners have definitely come to appreciate, that they don't have stockout issues. So that's just something that is part of normal weekly management review, is looking at customer service, looking at order fulfillment, looking at manufacturing, and then looking at some key indicators and saying, okay, it's time to make an investment in this area. So, we're way ahead of the curve. So those things are kind of self-evident, but they've worked very, very well for us. Looking past that, there's definitely some projects that we've taken on that have been very high risk. However, I'm delighted that they've paid off so well. One of them is our Welcome Center. So I started with this idea that I could build this thing for $1 million, and that was going to be the budget. And myself and Jim Caldwell, who's our VP of Special Projects, he and I kind of threw this around, and he said, I don't think we're going to build this for $1 million. I was like, well, I can build a house for $1 million. So, but we started to recruit some talent, and it became very obvious that, this was going to be extremely expensive. But we went ahead and after maybe 18 months, this thing finally took shape and now is in our office in Draper. And we got to do the unveiling in the middle of September. And the reaction, I can honestly say this was one of the top 5 events I was ever at for LifeWave in 20 years, because the reaction from the brand partners was priceless. They had this blend of being excited, almost like in disbelief. They felt like they were inside of a spaceship learning about LifeWave and the company. And so we took this idea of the Welcome Center and said, we want people to come in and have it be completely immersive. So we included holograms, we included workstations that look like they're straight out of Star Trek. And we wanted to show people, this is where we've been, this is where we are today, and this is where we're going in the future. So anyone coming in from around the world, they will get a presentation in the Welcome Center in their language. We have every language that we support. And they can find out about LifeWave in a really entertaining way. So we've put through, 100 people now through the Welcome Center, well, more than that, including staff. And every single person that has gone through, they just describe it as jaw-dropping, and they're ecstatic about it. So we're going to be able to use this Welcome Center as a tool for building our business in a really interesting way in the coming years.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been fortunate to go through it a few times, and it's almost hard to describe. I mean, even as I heard you describe it right now, to understand the scale, the sophistication, and the technology that's involved, just talking about it really doesn't do it justice. And it's unlike any other welcome center, where often welcome centers can feel like a museum. And it's just looking backwards and, here's some glass boxes with some of our products. As you mentioned, this truly is an immersive experience. And I love that you've taken it to future looking as well.